Tuesday. My name is Wilbur.
My name's Nick.
Welcome into the dungeon. It's early afternoon, perhaps around 4 o'clock, when from a bit of a distance, I come across a parked, covered wagon with a frustrated dwarf pacing nearby. Are you getting closer, or are you trying to avoid?
Is he the only person I can see near the wagon?
Yeah.
Does the wagon have horses?
No.
And does the dwarf look armed? You know, does he look like a soldier or guard? Or does he look like a merchant? Or just a traveler, like somebody that's just moving around?
You'd have to perhaps get a bit closer to make details to see if he's carrying any weapons or anything like that. But from the distance you're in, it doesn't look heavily armored or anything.
Good day, my friend. I start waving as I'm walking towards him, so you can see that I mean no ill intent.
So as you get closer, you see that his clothes are dirtied from travel. And he looks at you and, with his hand shaking, wipes sweat from his brow. As you get closer still, he slightly hesitates before he forces a smile and says, "Our travellers, you couldn't have come at a better time. Me blasted horse Bramble ran off into the woods, and I ain't got the legs to chase him."
Well, my friend, you're staring at an old man. You expect me to go running off after a horse? It's going to take a long, long time.
Please, I beg of you, help me get him back. You and your robust friend here.
Well, my grandson here is rather fond of animals. A fine warrior. Strength of a boar, I'll have you know.
Just what we need.
What do you say, Wilbur? Do you fancy having a little gander as we look for a...
Horsey! Yes! Let's find a horsey.
Well, my friend, it looks like we will go off in search of Bramble. Pray tell me, what is your name, traveller?
Yes. My name is Doran. What be your name? You see he doesn't make long eye contact with you. He's a bit shifty, a bit nervous, as he says that.
My name is Yenros.
Yenros and Wilbur.
Aye.
Very well.
Which direction did you say Bramble ran off in?
He run right. That way, follow me. And he walks out of the tradeway and into the forest.
I signal to Wilbur to follow, but we're going to stay like 10 paces behind him. I'm going to almost make believe that, well, not make believe that I'm old, because I am old, but almost like feigning an extra tiredness, an extra ache in my bones. Wilbur, keep your sword hand ready. He looks a little shifty. We're a little wary this could be a trap.
Okay.
And we follow Doran.
So after a short while, you see Doran crouch down, look for hoof prints, look for tracks, to try and stay in course to finding his horse Bramble. He does notice that you're staying a bit behind. Our friend, is everything all right?
Aye, is these aching bones. I'm 120, I'd have you know.
Aye, shall I slow down the pace for you?
No, wouldn't want you to lose distance on your horse.
All right.
Don't worry about my grandson and I, we're following you.
Very well. I think he's right up here. Follow me. And he walks into a bit of a denser area of the woods.
Before we follow him into this denser part of the woods, this wagon that we saw,
Yes.
did it have bindings for just one horse, or does it look like the sort of wagon that could be pulled by one horse, or is it one that would have had more horses?
It looked like a one-horse wagon. It wasn't very big.
All right, so before following him blindly into this thicker part of the woods, I like to check and see for myself if there are hoof prints around.
All right, roll a survival check.
That's a total of 11.
You do see hoof tracks leading in the direction that Doran went in.
One horse?
Yeah,
Okay, so not horses, but horsey.
horsey, yeah.
All right, we follow him, keeping the same 10 paces behind him.
So as you enter the denser part of this wooded area, you get to the point where you see Doran is at the edge of a glade, and you see him stop there. He's waiting for you.
What is it, Doran?
I found my horse, but he seems to be in a bit of a pickle. He seems to be ensnared in some bushes, or perhaps a bit of the overgrowth. Some vines. Would you help me?
Can I see a horse?
Yeah, well, do you walk up to where Doran is?
Yes, I haven't seen anything yet that would arouse any further suspicions.
No, as you reach up to where Doran is, you look past him into this glade, and you do see a few shrubs here and there, and in the middle there's a bigger shrub, and you do see a horse there, seemingly trapped, unable to move away.
Can I see if there's anything untoward about this glade? You know, I want to see if there's any trap that's been set to capture said horse, or if there's any signs of other travelers passing through this area, you know, like perhaps forest residents that maybe are hunting in this area and have left snares. Essentially what I'm trying to figure out is he caught in a natural conundrum, or is there something manufactured about this whole scenario?
So you want to look where the horse is, you want to look at the bush where he's caught in and try to figure out if it's man-made or natural.
Yeah, and cautiously on my way there looking for traps as well.
You want to step into the glade.
Yeah.
Roll a survival.
Total of 7.
Okay, so you pass Doran into the glade, and you slowly start walking towards the horse, trying to look if you perhaps see certain disturbances on the ground, or maybe even other footsteps that don't belong to a horse. You don't see nothing out of the ordinary. You get a bit closer to the horse, and you do see that the horse is stuck, seemingly, in a bush, in a bramble bush. So do you want to check the bush? Do you want to actually physically check the bush if there's anything wrong with it, or you're happy with what you've seen? From what you see, the horse looks naturally caught up in some vines, in some brambles.
So vines or brambles or both?
I use them exchangeably, but let's say it's brambles. They're a bit more thorny, and he seems to be stuck in there.
How far away are we from Daggerford at this point? Is it a full day's travel still?
You're about a day away, perhaps a bit more, if you get too sidetracked with this. Moments later, after checking the bush, you hear from the edge of the glade, "I'm truly sorry." Roll for initiative.
I fucking knew it.
So in this case, it's a surprise round, but if we're following the new rules, which we are, the Dungeon Master's 2024 guide, it says that a surprised creature would roll initiative with disadvantage. So in this case, you and Wilbur, who followed you and is behind you currently, will also roll with disadvantage.
Okay, so I'll roll for Arfharim first with disadvantage. You son of a bitch. Arfharim's normal roll would have been a very respectable 19, but alas, it is now a 4.
Oof. What about Wilb?
Here comes Wilby. Oh my fucking god, you couldn't write this up. So Wilbur would also have been a 19,
All right.
but it's now a natural 1.
So the total of?
1, because he's got 0.
Nice.
We are well and truly surprised, I think it's fair to say. Damn it, I knew I should have trusted my instincts. But this is the fun thing about playing D&D in character rather than as play. Like, as a player, I knew there was something sus going on, but I had to go with what Arfharim was feeling and thinking at the time.
I shall roll some dice.
Oh, some dice.
I shall roll some dice.
This could be where it all ends, folks.
So from in front of you, you see a large rock to the left, and from behind the rock, a human steps out, dressed in leather armor, wearing a scowl on his face. And he shouts, "All right, boys! Doran brought in some suckers! Let's go get him!" And he runs towards you and stops just on the other side of the bramble bush, scimitar in hand, and slashes down at you. That's a 9 to hit.
That misses, thank God.
So as he slashes down, the bramble bush in between you two makes it awkward for him to be able to find purchase, and you're able to sidestep his attack. As soon as he finishes, you hear a bush rustle behind you, and footsteps start closing in on you. As you glance back, you see another bandit closing in on Wilbur with another scimitar raised, slashing down at him. It's a natural 20.
Oh dear. It was nice knowing you, Wilbur.
Okay, so this is the first natural 20 of an attack in our campaign, and I'm gonna propose to Nick a slightly different rule for the critical hits. What if, because usually you would roll double dice, right? What if the first dice is always the maximum amount and then you roll a second dice? That way you always guarantee at least some juicy damage and not two natural ones like I often rolled in our last campaign.
It's up to you as a DM, but just a heads up that with a scimitar that's a d6 plus whatever the strength is, that's probably a one-hit kill.
Oh. Well.
We are level 1 here.
Yes, but it is what it is. It's a natural roll. I'll leave it up to you, because remember, if we do this, it's going to be like this always. So when it's your turn, it'll be the same thing. So it's up to you. Want to risk it now that you're level 1s? I could always roll as we do, and I still roll 2 6s anyway. So
yeah, but you don't roll 2 6s.
Well, I just rolled a natural 20, I'll have you know. So might not be your day.
That's probably it for the rest of the campaign.
Probably not wrong.
I mean, if you're going to leave it to me, I'm going to say we just double like we've always done, but you are the DM. This is your campaign, so...
Full damage on the first dice, then.
Oh, dear. It's all over.
All right, so that's 6 plus 1. So that's 7 so far. And I'm going to roll. Oh, shit! That's another 6. That's a total of 13 damage. So as the bandit slashes down at Wilbur barely having time to turn around to see what was coming, he collapses whilst you look in horror. And now, it is your turn.
Wilbur!
Okay, so firstly, I'm going to cast Mage Armor as a bonus action. I'm going to touch myself again.
Okay.
And...
I'd say with the situation as it is and seeing Wilbur go down so easily, just behind you, and you seemingly outnumbered now, this calls for a wild magic roll.
with advantage, because I've just seen Wilbur chop down.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. Are we making it a thing?
But is wild magic always convenient to...
No,
for you?
I mean, with the new handbook, there's elements which are good and elements which are bad.
Right.
Whereas before it was pretty much all bad.
All right, so I'll say it's not with advantage, but if you do roll, it was a 20 you needed, right?
Yeah.
If you do roll a 20, I'll give you 2 rolls on the actual wild magic chart.
Oh, shit.
They don't both count, but in case you roll something poorly, I'd say because you're in a situation where your wild magic is probably going to manifest to help you rather than to, hinder you. I'd say you roll twice, and if one of them is good and one of them is bad, you can choose the one you want.
Okay. Never wanted a natural 20 more in my life. So close. But no cigar. It's a 19.
Whoa.
Arfharim, slowly composing himself, still facing the bandit that has just downed Wilbur. Arfharim raises his hand towards the bandit, and a green toxic spray mists from his hand.
Ooh.
Almost like a cloud, and surrounds his target. He needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. What's the DC?
I'll tell you now when you roll. Constitution time. Constitution time.
It's an 8.
Yes! It was a 15 to save.
It's pretty good. This is poison spray, I imagine, right?
That's correct.
Then roll for damage.
It's a total of 7 damage.
Ooh, nice. You see the bandit falter and fall back momentarily, coughing and spewing as this green poison spray surrounds him. He gets back up again with a snarl on his face.
I can give you a very valuable book if you spare us. If not, I will not teach you the secrets of my magic.
I'm just throwing that out there as I cast the spell.
I'll give you it. Roll a persuasion check.
It's a total of 17.
Alright, so you say that, and the turn goes over to Doran. You're not looking his way, so you don't know really what he's doing. but you don't see him enter the fray or try to attack you or anything like that. It's now Wilbur's turn. I need you to roll a death save.
Are we doing this blind?
Oh yes, we are. You see Wilbur on the floor, spasming as a wound is gaping and gushing blood uncontrollably.
Oh my god, that doesn't sound good.
Top of the round to the leader. He pauses, cocks his head and looks at you. Alright. You're saying you got some goods then?
Yes, I have some magical books that'll be worth a pretty penny to the right buyer. But they are contained in a magical compartment, and without the secret, alas, they would die with me.
Very well. Trevor, tie him up. So that's all the leader is doing. It's over to the other bandit's turn, which you now know is called Trevor. And he walks up to you.
I need my hands to be able to retrieve the book. You see, to withdraw it from his hiding place, you must have magic yourself. Let me present you the book.
We're still in order, so you're saying too much now.
Sorry.
We're still in order. Trevor's going up and he's starting to tie you down. You have said you need your hands, I'll give you that. But he still proceeds to tie you.
I'm not letting him. I'm sort of like...
Okay,
I'm trying to tell him, like, you know, I'm not going to willingly let him tie me. I'm trying to explain to him. I slap his hand. Like, not aggressively, but, you know, like, I need my hands almost playfully, like...
Alright, so he's still trying to tie you even though you're resisting. So we're going to have a check here for a grapple. You have to beat the DC of 8 plus the bandit's strength modifier and proficiency.
Okay, here we go. Starting to formulate sweat beads on my forehead. Oh, yes. I think it's just enough. 13?
Yeah, that clears it. So he struggles with a rope and almost tangling himself as you're beating his hands and the rope off you. And that's his turn. It's now over to you.
Like I said, I need my hands to retrieve it. It'll be but a moment.
As I'm saying that, I'm thinking of First Blood. I'm pulling out the book.
Okay.
And I'm offering it to Trevor.
Beautiful book. Exquisite penmanship. Have a look at it.
Is that going to be your action?
Yeah, I imagine it's an action to retrieve something from the... Okay.
Okay, so that's your turn there. Need you to roll a death save for Wilbur.
Oh, Wilbur.
As you're handing that book to Trevor, you see Wilbur start to convulse even more. And then his breaths start getting shallower. It's over to the leader, top of the round. He looks at you, then looks at Trevor. No funny business, eh?
No funny business. I must attend to my grandson.
He walks round the horse, round the bramble bush, and gets to Trevor, snatching the book off him. He proceeds to open the book. What's so special about this? And as he says that, the book starts pulsating, slowly at first, and picks up in motion. A blinding flash of white light surrounds the area, and out of it comes Timothy Tooth.
Oh, Timmy, I've never been so happy to see you.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, shit.
Alright, I need you to roll a percentile dice.
Ooh. So 32.
Alright, nothing else happens, but Timothy is there. He looks at you and looks at the situation in general and doesn't hesitate to attack the person that just opened the book in front of him. He outstretches his hands and touches the leader on the shoulder.
Oh, Timothy. I am so glad you're here. It's a total of 21.
Nice. Alright, that hits, obviously, and roll for damage.
Almost max at a total of 7.
Oof, nice.
That's necrotic damage.
The bandit leader, in shock, screams in horror as he sees this ghostly figure manifest in front of him. He thinks of fleeing, but hesitates and stands firm. It's over to Trevor now, the other bandit. You tricked us, you old hag! As he directs his attention to you and slices at you with a scimitar. That's a total of 14.
Thank God I cast Mage Armor. That misses.
Alright. So you're dodging expertly all the blows that are coming your way. You're old, but still quite nimble. Trevor curses under his breath in frustration. And it is now your turn.
I think there's only one thing really that I can do. I'm force-feeding a potion of healing down Wilbur Finch's throat. And actually, I don't know if we've ever revealed his full name, but I've seen it on the map. His full name is Wilbur Finch.
Wilbur Finch. So yeah. So you force the red liquid down Wilbur's throat. And as we had been ruling in our last campaign, if we use an action to use a potion, be it on yourself or on someone else, it heals fully. In the case that it's on yourself, you always have an option to use it as a bonus, and then you would have to roll for it. This kind of represents you carefully pouring a potion down your throat or someone else's, as opposed to, as a bonus, quickly, hurriedly trying to drink it. So there's more spillage. At the end of the day, a potion is a potion, right? If it heals an amount, it heals an amount.
Yeah.
We like that rule, and we're going to keep it.
So that brings Wilbur almost up to full health. That's 10 hit points that he recovers.
Nice.
So he's conscious again, thank God. The odds have turned.
Wilbur coughs up. And you see him breathing comfortably again. Eyes open, in shock, but still lying on the ground for now. That's your turn, right?
Yes.
Or do you have a bonus you'd like to use?
I'd love to use a bonus, but alas, I don't have anything I can do with it.
From beyond the horse and in the edge of the glade, you hear a rustling on a tree. And suddenly, you hear an arrow being let loose. You see the arrow pass through Timothy and lodge onto the tree beyond him. But you still see that Timothy's phantasmal form momentarily splits open as the arrow passes through it, dealing him a total of... Boo! Total of 1 damage.
Yes.
Timothy is resistant to piercing damage. I rolled a 1, plus a 1, minus a 1, because, divided by 1 is a 1.
Divided by 2.
Divided by 2, sorry, is a 1.
Okay.
You hear footsteps from the other side where the archer just attacked Timothy. You glance back and you see Doran hesitantly getting closer and hiding behind a fallen log. It's now over to Wilbur.
Oh, Wilbur is grabbing the sword with 2 hands. He's channeling his inner Sir Galvanos, and he's going to try and ram through Trevor.
Alright, so he uses half his movement to stand up and roll to hit.
It's a total of 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
That's a total of 8 damage.
Oof. As Wilbur rams his double sword through Trevor, it catches his heart. Trevor spews blood, trickling down the side of his face as he falls backwards in a lump, dead. Damn you, old man! The leader turns around as he's seen Trevor draw his last breath, raises his scimitar again, and strikes at you.
Oh, and me?
To hell with you! Yeah, he feels you're the one that's pulling the strings here. That's a 12 to hit.
That misses.
You're on fire today. At least offer him. In frustration, he kicks at the horse. Damn horse! For no reason whatsoever. And it's over to Timothy. I'll let you take the reins with Timothy.
How's the leader looking after Timothy caressed him? Does he look winded, or does he still look fighting fresh?
He's definitely not fighting fresh. He still looks like he can put up a fight, but he looks a bit scared from what's happening with Timothy, and also pretty wounded.
Okay, so Timothy's going to flanken him, and then he's going to use his withering touch again.
Ooh. Right, roll to hit.
It's a total of 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Sorry, and it was with advantage, just in case it's a nat 20, which it's not. So a total of 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Not bad, Timmy. I think he's going to prove himself to be the MVP today. That's a total of 7 damage. Again, 1 shy of full.
You see the leader collapse.
Woohoo!
But he manages to keep himself up, not fully falling onto the floor. He's panting. He's looking wide-eyed around himself, kind of judging his options. But he's not looking in good shape whatsoever. He's barely standing.
That's the end of Timothy's turn.
Alright, it's over to Arfharim then, as Trevor is now dead.
The hairs on Arfharim's back start to stand on end. He turns to face the archer. He outstretches his right arm, and his face now scowls. His eyes almost roll back. These wisps of lightning start formulating at his fingertips again, and suddenly a beam of crackling energy lances towards the archer.
Roll to hit.
This has to hit. It's my last spell slot.
Your last spell slot, really?
I only have
two. Okay.
Oh yes! Woo! He's feeling pumped. And this is, by the way, another sorcerer's spell, so that's a total of 22.
Oof, nice. Okay, you haven't been casting this kind of magic for a while. Since you've been living with Obing, it's always been subdued. You always known the power you have and the magic spells that you've been able to cast, but you've refrained from doing so. And with your newfound freedom and seeing yourself in these situations, you have no option but to do so. But you still get into grips with it, and the wild surges keep happening. Perhaps as the time goes on, they'll happen with less frequency, but for now I'll say this is another wild surge.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, 19 again. That's twice I've missed it by one.
Alright, so now roll your damage for the original spell. Witch's Bolt, right?
Yeah, Witch's Bolt. That's a total of 19, and it stays triggered on him should he survive.
Wow! I feel good! What the heck? You're level 1.
So it's 2d12 spell.
2d12. Wow, okay.
That was a 10 and a 9.
So 19 total damage. Yeah, I mean, as soon as a Witch Bolt hits, you just see the person in the tree light up in flames. The charge was too much for him, and he just bursts in flames and collapses on the floor, dead in one hit. It's over now to the dead archer. He's dead.
Has he joined Timmy's ranks? Is Timmy sort of formulating an undead army here?
well, he didn't kill it, so we'll see what happens with that. It's over to Doran's turn, and he frantically comes out running from behind the log with a stick in hand. Substantially sized stick, right? It's not like a twig. Runs up to the leader with a stick raised. Let's call it a branch. With a branch raised above his head, and strikes down at him. He's gonna roll to hit. He hits the leader across the chest, but the stick just glances off it and out of his hands and rolls beside him. Dealing
natural one?
No, but it's that pathetic anyway,
okay.
So dealing 0 damage. Alright, that's his turn. And now it's over to Wilbur.
So Wilbur momentarily goes into Arfharim's space so that he gets advantage on the leader. He's going to strike him with a ferocious double-handed swipe of his sword and then move back to his position.
For clarification, he'll get advantage because he's flanking with Timothy. Roll to hit. Roll to hit.
Not particularly high with either of them. It's a total of 14 to hit.
That hits.
Wilbur.
It's a total of 6.
Narrate it for us. The leader's dead.
Taking extra care to not hit the horsey, Wilbur, as I said before, sidesteps into Arfharim's area of control, gives the horse like a side eye and a nod, almost telling him, "You're safe here now. We've come to rescue you." He arches his back, raising the two-handed sword above his head, and then comes down in a diagonal slash from shoulder to waist across the leader's torso, slicing through his chest with the precision that he learned from Sir Galvanus's daisy swipe.
The daisy swipe. I like it.
You're a very naughty boy.
So, yeah, the leader collapses dead on the floor. It's now over to Timothy Tooth.
So this is the first time we've been in combat with Timothy as an ally. I imagine that as far as he's concerned, he thinks we've just been ambushed by all of them. I don't think he's differentiating between Doran and the bandits that we've killed. So I'm going to say that he feels compelled to finish this off. So again, he positions himself in a manner in which he is flanking Doran and reaches out with his withering touch to try and see him off. That's a total of 14.
Oh, yes, that hits.
Total of 5 damage.
So Timothy grabs Doran by the throat, lifting him up, squeezing literally the life out of him. Well, this is gonna be my patron's first meal. As he says that, Doran starts losing consciousness, but manages to let out a sob and a plea. Save Hilda! And that is where we're going to leave it.
Who the fuck is Hilda? Whoa. Plot twist.
Well, if you want to know, you're going to have to wait until next week, where we'll play the next episode of The Road to Baldur's Gate.
Things are getting hairy. So if you can't wait and you want an Into the Dungeon fix, make sure you visit our website, www.i2td.com. Follow the links there to our Discord, our social medias, and of course, follow that coffee cup, that glorious cup of Morning Joe, where you can make a one-off donation or join our membership tiers to contribute to the podcast. It not only helps us grow and deliver more of these juicy, enthralling, I must say after today's session, episodes for you, but it's also a fun way for you to be a part of the stories we tell and shape the adventures we play. That potion that Arfharim used to surely turn the tide was a very kind donation by our good friend Neil Ravos. Thank you so much. That's surely kept this campaign from an untimely end.
Thank you, Neil. And if you don't want to donate like Neil did, or join one of the subscription tiers, worry not, you can still help us out tremendously by following us in all our links, visiting our website, and also leaving a review, a good review, with a lot of stars on your podcast player of choice. Also spread the word of Into the Dungeon with family, friends, and your pets if they like listening to Into the Dungeon, like Anthony's pet, which I think it was a dog, enjoyed listening to us. Or kind of, no, he didn't enjoy it, sorry, I take it back. I think he used to play it and the dog was like, well, what is this crap you're playing for us? Something like that, the story went. But anyway, yeah, share it with your friends and family. Thank you very much. That leads us now to the end of the episode club.
The last one standing.
Ooh, where we give you a password and you use the password in a sentence and we read it and we like it. Do you have a password for us this week? Toothache.
Oh, so you're asking me, but you've come up with one. Nice.
Yes.
Why toothache?
Because Timothy Tooth, and I don't know, he killed. It did some damage, so causing aches, heartaches.
We'll roll with it, yeah.
Toothache. So yeah, use it in a sentence and show us what you come up with. Thank you very much.
Use that to prove that you're as nimble as Arfharim and that you have survived to the very end.
Yeah. Well, with all that said, again, thank you very much for tuning in to the very end. And we hope to catch you next time as we delve
into the dungeon.